back and share new energy, new experiences, new things that I want to break into for 2023. So if you can help me, welcome back, Nel Duo.
Bing bada boom. Don't panic, it's organic. Wow, okay. All right. Well, hey, good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us here today. I want you guys to take a chance just to thank yourselves for being here. Thank you for being present. Let's do a point snap for making it through another year. Some people didn't make it. Some people aren't able to snap right now. Some folks are snapping in a different realm right now. Trust me, I've been there. It's a little more fun here sometimes. So I just want to thank you guys for showing up this morning. Thank you for ringing in the New Year's with me, for choosing to be here today with me as well, and choosing to be here with each other and have camaraderie and have community. What a wonderful way to start the New Year's in that presence, in this mode together as one unit, one body. I couldn't think about a better place I like to start my year than right here, right now. So thank you so much. Seeing all the beautiful smiling faces. And it's not that cold. So you see I have not much on top. So that's how I judge if I'm going outside. I go, not today. I'm staying right here tonight. I don't even put hats on. I just go, I don't check the weather. I just stick my head out the window and it's like, yeah, that's it. Not today, not today. But yeah, so 2023, wow, what a beautiful thing. Gotta give kudos to Gary for making this awesome topic from vision to reality. And I think that's really huge as we're kind of getting to the year of 2023. Looking at that number 7, if you break it down to 2, you know, the 2, and then the 3, 7, the magic. I used to be a banker in case you wondered how I did that so well. So just thinking about that 7 motion, we're talking about spirituality and how spirituality and magic and getting to the process of manifestation and transition from just being your head into actually what it looks like in this realm. I was really excited when he told me about that message in regards to, hey, this is what I'm thinking about bringing to the table here, and I'd like you to talk on that. And I was like, yeah, I'll be great. I'd love to do that. Thank you. So a little bit about me, in case you guys haven't maybe heard or even seen me before. I've been in and out of the community, but I've been here, enough to know a few faces that I kind of recognize as well too, and seen before. My full name is LHSC Duo. I am 36 years old. I was born in Monrovia, Liberia. I came here about like 4.5 or so, give or take, years old to the States. I came with my mother, my father, and my sister. Well, my father was here, but I came with my older sister and my mother. We all came to America here. Unfortunately, it wasn't like we want to go to the States. It was actually a civil war that brought us from Liberia to here. So that's one of the reasons why we came here. I don't still know why Minnesota. I'm just like, you go from tropical to just bam, right here, tundra. So, but I think it was there's a divine purpose for everything because I haven't left yet. I found home and family, community here, and that's what I'm really excited about as well too. I currently live in New Hope. If you guys know what New Hope is, yeah, okay, yeah. She's like, I know New Hope. Nobody knows New Hope. They know Crystal, Plymouth, and Maple Grove. They don't know New Hope. Yeah, but I live in New Hope currently. I also am a retail. I went back into the working world from being in consulting. I work now as a retail branch manager at a local retail bank here in Blaine. So that's fun, working with a team of great individuals there as well too, and bringing in the new year with them as I just started literally a month or 2 ago. A little bit about me. Okay, so I am a survivor of non-Hodgkin lymphoma, a cardiac arrest. Yes. of a kidney transplant, and my kidney transplant was in 2012. So I've had kind of extensive amounts of health challenges, extensive things where I had the topic is really important because there's a part of bringing that vision into reality. And the vision that I wanted was always me being healthy, was always me being well. And how you bring that into reality when you have your reality set in the contrary of that. So that's a really awesome talk for me, but a little bit about who I am. So what helped me with that in regards to bringing that vision to reality was, first and foremost, focusing on the ends versus the means. A lot of us are so focused on how, when, who, what, and we just don't focus on what we want and just keeping that insight on that. The truth of the matter is you don't really have to know how you're going to get there. All you need to know is where you're going. So you imagine, I don't know if you guys have been in a mall for a while or whatever, but we have Mall of America. For those of you watching out there, it's a really big mall. It's the only thing people know Minnesota for. Mall of America, maybe Valley Fair, and a couple of parks and lakes, or a lot of lakes. But in the Mall of America, when you walk in there, you'll see that it's just huge. It's like I'm going in there and I have a game plan. If you don't have a game plan, unless you're just a tourist and just kind of walking through or whatever, however you do, most times you're going there, you have a game plan of why you're going to the mall. And I'm one of those guys, I'm like, I don't really want to just walk around. I want to know where I'm going, what's going on. So before we had cell phones as popular, I would go to a kiosk and have a map on that kiosk. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, and on that map, the first thing it says is, you are here, right? So relative to where you're trying to get, you got to figure out where you are. You got to take self-inventory of where am I? So in that place, to think about Mall of America, I always ask, where are you? Whenever you're trying to get anywhere, where am I? Where am I? Then the question is, where am I trying to go? So that self-inventory of where am I is really huge in realizing that. And we talk about vision. We think about vision as the divine line of success. There's an invisible line a line that separates those who get things done successfully from those who just merely dream about it. Earl Nightingale talks about this in talking about success. He says that success is the ideal realization of a worthy idea. So that could be a mother who says, I want to be a mom. That's the ideal realization. It's not just funds and money. It could be a person who says, I just want to play golf. And that's something they're passionate about. Cook, do whatever. So having the ideal realization, working towards something, that realization, that to me is success. And also Earl Nightingale, if you heard of him, calls that success as well. And I like that definition, the ideal realization of a worthy idea. You think about it too as well, an attitude of total commitment that's sold out to success in the face of any problem, and a willingness to pull out the stops to go for the gold. If you're moving from vision to reality, you have to have a can-do attitude. Wouldn't you agree? Like you have to, hey, by all means necessary, it's already done. It's that part of almost embodying that experience before it even happens. It's that first the thoughts, then the actions unfold, you know what I mean? So it's a part of that having that can-do attitude by doing whatever it takes. From sight to insight. That's a big part right there, from sight to insight. Moving from your head to your heart, the heart space. I have a good friend named Kai. She always says, speak from the heart space. The heart space is the message center. That's where you can get a lot more creative done. Creating from that peaceful place of joy, expectations, of just receiving it versus the fear of loss. Speaking from that heart center, moving from your head to your heart. Going from insight, I'm just going from sight to insight. It's really huge. And if you think about what success or vision is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination and wisdom. Albert Einstein says imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. We're all connected by thoughts and frequencies. We know that. He just talked about vibes and frequencies and feeling things. There's a certain piece where there's a test done where I think a group of monkeys were taught how to open a shell of penis or something like that. I don't know what exactly it was. And on the other side of the island, somehow without them having contact with each other, they pick up on that vibration and start doing the same of breaking the rocks, using the rocks to break those nuts. And it shows us the antenna that we have in that frequency to be able to connect with each other, that we can actually connect through imagination, that co-creation starts first within us. It starts in the dream world, and then we transition out into the real world where we are. So what are you thinking about? What's in your dream world? What are you bringing to reality? A little food for thought. It's not the movement of the clock that produces reality from vision, but the movement of the mind. Beloved, within this moment right now, this new year that we have upon us, I asked a few questions. First question to ask, or I asked, or maybe you can ask yourself along with me, is what is this vision you have? What is this vision you have? Let's let it marinate. What is this vision you have? What is it that you truly want to experience during this human experiment? Keyword experiment. I wish I had a little twilight. Yeah. Through this human experience, what do you really want to experience during this human experiment? And then I want you guys to do me a favor if you can. Loosen up for a little bit for a sec. Just kind of shake it off. And then ask yourself, or actually not even this, say to yourself, if it's going to be, you already know it. You can't finish. You got to say the first part. If it's going to be, come on, let's play with this. If it's going to be, okay, that's right. One more time. If it's going to be, turn to your neighbor and say, that's right. There we go. That's right. It's going to be, it's up to me. So if you think about that aspect of it, just knowing that you are in the right place at the right time, taking the stress and anxiety off of yourself, having fun in the creative process of that, going back to that childlike space of creating, having that vision. I remember as a 6-year-old, I have a niece and nephew, and they just play all day. All they do is play, and I'm just watching them. And I'm seeing the creative process as they're imagining and communicating with each other, and you can see their the eyes lighting up and sparkling. And I jump in, I play with them, and I'll pretend to be whatever it is. Somehow I reason I'm always the bald-headed captain guy, and they have to rub my head, open the door, but it works for them, it works for me. I play along, and creating memories that way. Second question I want you guys to ask yourself is, what is this vision you have for your life, your family, your occupation, your future? The future is right now, in case you guys are wondering. It's in the moment. And then also another question that folks they look over is the trade-off. What will it cost you? There's always something to it. It's a trade-off. What will it cost you in getting what you want? What will it cost you? And other than that, in regards to what it will cost you, more importantly, are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to pay a price? Are you paying the price? And of course, when should you pay the price? Which is always now. The moment's always a gift. We talked about, as a quote I love, I know you guys probably heard this, they say that the past is history, the future's a mystery, and the present's what? A gift. Exactly. So when should you pay the price? Always now, in the moment. These are questions that I ask myself kind of on an ongoing basis. And I kind of sit and I let it marinate. And I think to myself, okay, what does that look like for myself? And I write things down and change that. Changing your vision of reality isn't a thing you do just one time and it's done. It's an ongoing process. You might have something that starts in the new year, 2 months from now, 3 weeks from now. You say, you know what, I thought I was passionate about that. I might just readjust, and that's okay. It's okay to readjust. It's okay to try, fail, and adjust again. That's how you grow. That's how you grow. It's okay to change your plans. Can't be so rigid. So my dad would always tell me this, and it's funny because he would say to me, he has an accent, so I'm going to try to do the accent. He'll say, I'm trying not to laugh a lot. He'll say, what we don't take care of now, you have to take care of tomorrow. So I was like, what does that mean? He's like, what I don't take care of now, you have to take care of tomorrow. I'm like, I still don't know what you're saying. And he'll say to me, well, think about my story. My dad was born in a small village in Liberia, a very, very poor village. And his dream was just to go to college in America, before I was even thought of. His goal was just to get to America and go to college. So, of course, like everything else, he did what he should have. He had 1 or 2 books that he kept reading over and over and over again. He ended up being a tutor and a teacher within this village, transitioned from being a teacher and a student to now going to a local community college that they had, I think it was in Ghana, flew out. And then somehow he got lucky and got a student visa to come to America. Unbeknownst to all of us, he came to America. And when he got here, he told me how much of a culture shock it was. He's in a new country, away from his family, a new culture, and a new way of being and moving in the world. Completely different from where he was. And of course, he thought to himself, well, I have kids. At the time, I was very young, my sister, maybe 8 or 9. And not to keep focused on that. He kept the vision of us being united, and he kept that vision in his heart, and he kept working. He said he worked as a busboy, and he said that the only way he would eat was to scrape food off of the plates at the end of the night when he was cleaning up the tables. And that's how he took care of himself, and he worked. And he says back then we used to make $2, $3 an hour, and that was a lot. And I was like, wow, that's a dude. We talk about minimum wage now. Wow, $2, $3 an hour. Woo, I appreciate you, Pops. But I think about it, if you say that what we don't take care of now, we lead to the next generation to deal with, it's huge because if my father wouldn't have the fortitude to say, you know what, I want more for myself. I have this vision I'm going to hold on to. I want to go to the States not just for me, but for legacy. I wouldn't be here talking to you guys today. If it wouldn't have been the war that would have killed me, the cancer that I had at age 6 that could have killed me, let alone be in a war-torn country. The kidney transplant, what happened to the kidney transplant? A little backdrop. Radiation scarred the kidneys, had to get on dialysis and so on. And I'll explain more about that later. But I say all that to say that what you're doing now and fulfilling the dreams of your heart, the things that are on your spirit, is not just for you. It echoes for a lifetime. It vibrates across eternity and affects so many more people. My dad's not in this room, but his actions are affecting you right now by me speaking to you guys. That's huge. That's huge. Just know that. What we're doing right now echoes for a lifetime. And a little bit about my story. So, in regards to just the health situation, so I'll give you a backdrop. I sprinkle a little bit. You're like, what? So I'll go a little bit into it. So as far as for me, I'm not the type to I believe this. You can have fear or love, right? And most times when folks start to tell the story, it turns into this woe's me of, oh my God, I've been through this and this happened and that happened. And I'm like, instead of why me, I always had a thought of why not? It's just more to the story. More people I can touch. More people I can have an influence on. More people I can hopefully reach out and say, you know what, I understand how you feel, and you will be okay. You will be okay, beloved. With the chemotherapy and radiation, when I took that, I was 7 years old. At the age of 7, I didn't know what chemo was. I just knew how to go to the hospital. I kept the look, as you can see. No hair, I love it. I didn't know what that was. I just wanted to be a normal kid. That was just my desire, just to be a normal kid. But I knew that things weren't normal. I knew that the vision of health that I had in my mind and seen others running around and playing with was not the same experience for me at that time. I remember I had to go to my chemotherapies right after school, and I'd be really sick. And I'll vomit, and sometimes it'll be like, well, I can't eat nothing until we get home because the radiation caused an effect. And as I would go to school, I would see the kids going and playing sports outside, playing like normal kids do, and I'll be inside in the window just looking, envisioning one day I'm going to be healthy. The healthy person you see now is the vision I had back then, the age of 7, 8, of thinking one day I will be healthy enough to be there, I will be healthy enough to play, I will be healthy enough to do that. I call what my situation or circumstances what you call a late bloomer, in the sense of I didn't actually get well enough until everybody was already into their healthy stages in life and moving forward. I started playing football at the age, I don't even know, I just said grade, I don't know what age I was. It was 8th grade when I started playing any sports at all. So mind you, there was always a disadvantage of being foreign and not knowing what's the rules, I'm grabbing the football. I remember I went down and I tried for football, and they had me on the return team. And the ball came, and I was like, they're about to hit me. So one of the guys in the line said, if you don't want to get hit, you raise your hand. So I raised my hand, and I took off running. And the coach was like, you're on defense. I was like, okay. So I started playing defense, and I started as a cornerback. And that was something that I could do. I was fast, I was small enough, and I did very well. Mind you, I didn't know any of the rules, but I went all conference in cornerback for Osseo Senior High, which was like, wow, got second conference for a cornerback. Okay. Parents never came to the game. They didn't know what football was. Like, oh, is it soccer or what? I was like, no, we do different. Also transitioning with that, I had the opportunity to also play basketball. I played traveling basketball while I was on dialysis, which is really interesting. I had a catheter in my stomach at the time, and I was playing in the AAU team at a really high elite team. It was called Minnesota Glory. And I remember we would play, and I would just give my all because I knew, like, unlike other kids who almost felt entitled as if they're supposed to be there, because they had all the new shoes, the nice gear. They had sponsors, colleges looking at them. I was just a turtle on this fence post. Like, how did I get here? But I'm here. And I gave it all. I was a guy with a tube in my chest diving on the floor, just playing with heart and grit. And the coaches knew something about that. I wasn't the most skilled, but I had heart. I had determination. And that also kind of helped transition that, and it taught me. Another layer of this is also when I realized that, you know what? We get so stuck in the confines of what the world tells us we should do or how we should do it that we don't try new things. Being that I had health issues at a young age, I realized that I only had so much time to really experience life. So where most of my friends were like, you're about to wrestle? That's for white boys. I was like, well, okay. None of my friends wanted to wrestle. They all thought it was awkward, but I was like, I may not ever get this experience. You guys go play basketball. I'm going to go wrestle and try to see what that's like because it's something new. So now I go to wrestle. I didn't know they're actually going to slam me for real. I get on that mat and the guy, and he starts doing all these weird things with my legs. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. But I didn't quit. I kept going at it. My first year I went conference, got eliminated the first round, but it was an experience that I was like, wow, that's a great experience to learn. Because you think about wrestling, it almost prepares you for life because it's like a team sport, right? Where you're working with a group of individuals, but you're on that mat with just you and that opponent. It's just you and that opponent. The lights are dim, and you have to face that opponent head on. And no matter what, you cannot run. You can, but you can get chased. You can get chased and tight. So you have to face that, and that really prepared me for a lot of things in life, especially going on with the health challenges that I had down the road. It gave me a grit to realize that this is just another opponent, and the only way I could get past this was to face it, to stand strong, to learn from where I was, to dive directly in the moment and not fear what could happen or what would happen. So with this topic we talk about in regards to this, the new theme that Gary talked about with vision, from vision to reality, there's a piece of reality that I had and I held on to and still do. Because mind you, when I started dialysis, it was 2001, I was in 11th grade. I stayed on dialysis for 11 and a half years. 11 and a half years. All my high school, most of my 20s. So when I was playing sports, I was really good just by nature. Wasn't like I was skilled or anything, I was luckily athletic. And I started playing varsity around 7th, 8th grade. So while most of my friends were still going to the junior high teams, I was being bused to Osseo and playing for the varsity kids. Those kids had beards. They were huge. They were huge. I was like, oh my God. So that was really amazing in that part of it, because you think about how, if you have that vision and you think that, how am I going to get there? I didn't even think I'd be able to play sports, let alone make varsity. So to have that happen was really huge for me. But to have that 11 years of dialysis and having this dialysis machine as my opponent that I had to face day in, day out, day in, day out, snow, rain, whatever was going on, I had to figure out a way to get there. And still holding on to that vision of, I don't see myself as a dialysis patient. I'm just on dialysis. I would say this so much that the nurse was like, yeah, you're not a dialysis patient. Just go to the chair, please. I'm like, because when I come in, I'm like, Mr. Patient. I'm like, no. I'm just on dialysis. I'm not. So it was this piece where I had it so embodied in myself that I did not want to hold on to the vision of me being a dialysis patient. I didn't want to get comfortable with me being a dialysis patient. I only saw myself as being on dialysis, as that being temporary. Temporary. What are you holding on? How do you see yourself? Are you a guru, as they say? Are you someone who's still not quite there spiritually, as we may think some of us are or aren't? Are you someone that's a leader? Are you someone that's out here to just serve humanity or just grow? What do you see yourself as? What are you holding on? Are you letting the world tell you what you are? Or are you co-creating the experience that you want there? This would be a great time for you guys if you have a chance to take notes either on your phone or to write something down. I put some stuff down that I thought there are kind of 4 types of people that I read about. And I was like, okay, this is really good. I'd love to share with them. And beloved, it talks about the 4 types of people and personalities. I'm just going to briefly go over it real fast with you guys here. First things first, of the 4 people, we have the cop-outs. You ever heard that before? Cop-out? Cop-out. These people have no goals and make no decisions. They just float through life. Then there's the holdouts. These people have a beautiful dream. They're afraid. They have a beautiful dream, but they're afraid to respond to the challenges because they're not sure they can make it. You know, the fear of failure. And as we know, most cases, the only time you succeed is to fail. I was nervous last night trying to get this talk together because I procrastinated like crazy. I just started this branch job here, and I had to do annual reviews of a team I've been with less than 30 days. So I have 6 people. I'm like, I don't know what to put here about you. Great personality, nice smile. And I'm like, I don't know. So I spent all these last few weeks having this anxiety about writing this talk and also doing my work duties. And it just kind of overlapped last night to the point where I was like, you know what? It's all about just going forth and just showing up as I am. And knowing that if I come and speak from the message center, which is the heart, it'll be well received. And that's what I'm planning to do today. And so we have talked about the cop-outs. Those people have no dreams, no ideas, no decisions, just float. Talk about the holdouts. Those people have a beautiful dream, but they're afraid to really make it happen because of the challenges that may come along with it. They don't want it. They don't want too much. They don't want to rock the boat. Then there are the dropouts. These people, they state they have a dream. They know the dream. They know their roles. They set their goal. But when the going gets tough, what do? They quit. They quit. They don't pay the toll. Finally, you have those people who are the all-outs. The all-outs. You got to love the all-outs. These are people who know their role. They're going to be stars. They want to shine and be an inspiration to the world. The all-outs are great people because they know that no matter what, they're going to accomplish their goal. They know that they're never going to quit. They know that even when the toll gets heavy, they're going to pay the price. Are you all out? Are you all out in your spirituality? Are you all out for your health? Are you an all-out person for your family? I challenge you to be an all-out for yourself. Some more notes to take down here for just food for thought, if you want to. We're going to talk about 10 keys to unlocking a can-do attitude in regards to transitioning that vision into reality, right? Because again, I think that most people were born to succeed, but programmed to fail. The 10 keys that can help you unlock that can-do attitude would be, first and foremost, disown your helplessness. As I told you earlier, I was on dialysis for 11 and a half years. I never once told myself I am a dialysis patient, because I'm not. I was just on dialysis. I was healed, whole, nothing broken, nothing missing. I am the man I see now back then before it was in reality, as you see it now. I held on to that. Also, another key to jot down if you're taking notes, to take the bull by the horn. Kind of dangerous. But what that means is basically embrace the fear. Embrace the fear. It's out of that comfort zones where you really win and really dig and figure out what is it you're really trying to get or why you're trying to get that. Embrace that fear. Take the bull by the horn. Put on a new pair of shoes. What does that mean? Try, fail, learn, adjust, try again. Put on a new pair of shoes. Try something different. Try another experience. I was in consulting for quite a while. I decided to go into leadership and management, a new pair of shoes. I'm a kid with an accent that I can kind of mask a little bit better now. I never thought I'd be public speaking. I never wanted to. I was the guy in the back that would sit in the classroom and raise my hand, but tell someone else to tell the answer. Hey, tell them this. Because I didn't want to be heard. I was exercising my throat chakra. And throat chakra is not just about speaking, it's also about listening. A little tidbit there. And then also nurture your passion. If you're passionate about something, no one's going to be as passionate about it as you are. It's up to you to show that passion. It's up to you to take life in that, to take joy in that, to wake up in the morning and say, this is what it is. This is what I want to do. This is what brings me to life. This is what I'm going to make my purpose, my vision, my mission. This is what brings me joy. Passion is something you could do without getting paid. Passion is something where you could just wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my gosh, it's been 3, 4, 5 hours I've been doing this. I can't believe I've been beating this drum all day. I was downstairs and I listened to you guys beat the drum. I'm like, nah, that's passion. I'm sitting there just I stopped even reading my notes. I'm just like, that's passion. That's passion right there. I could feel it in the rhythm, the frequency of the drums being beat. And then walk a second mile again. Walk a second mile again. When I was on dialysis and became that 5+ year stretch where they're like, most people that are on dialysis don't make it past this 5-year mark. I had to keep walking. I had to keep going. I had to figure a way to reignite that passion. I had to figure a way to reintroduce myself into that realm. I had to find the blessings within that space that I was at. And I found that blessings by connecting with the elderly. I was at dialysis. Wow, connecting with the elderly. I would have never did that prior to being on dialysis. I mean, you think about the wisdom that's housed within our elderly and how our youth, we don't honor that as much no more. We have everything supposedly on Google, but really that communication with the elderly person and wisdom surpasses anything that can be downloaded or uploaded. So I had a chance to really say, oh my gosh, this is a wonderful reason to go to dialysis. I have to have conversations with people I love and conversations with people who truly see me as a son, a grandson. When I didn't have friends that was coming to dialysis units with me, it was the seniors that had other family members that would come and visit me while I was on my treatment. Not even my immediate family. Think about that. And then going with the flow, embracing the process, all of it, the good, the bad, the ups, the down. Embrace the process, embody all of it, embrace all of it. Embrace it all. It's all for your good, beloved. Embrace it all. Follow through to the end. If my father would have stopped and said, you know what? Those kids are in Africa. It's a war. I think I'm just going to chill over here and maybe just worry about me right now. I'll be gone. If he would have said, you know what? I'm okay just being in this village. I don't really want to go anywhere else. I'm in paradise. There is sunshine. Why would I want to go to a whole nother country and do anything more or less? I'm just going to stay here. Neither one of us would be here right now. So follow through to the end. Follow through to the end. And in that aspect of following through to the end, expect a return on your commitment. Sometimes we get so busy just being the hustle bustle of life and the run and the grind and the ups and going here, going there, taking care of that person, calling this thing, calling that person back and doing all this other stuff, we forget to actually wait for the return, to receive the return. That may even deal with something with worthiness. Are we worthy enough? Do we feel worthy enough to say, hey, I actually deserve this versus I just want this? So expect a return on your commitment. You pay dues to make those moves. Expect something back. Expect something back. Continue on some notes to jot down now in regards to changing your vision into reality. We're going to talk about a few things. First thing is vision. You know, from vision to reality, if you think about it, there's a book I've been reading. It's called The 12-Week Year by Brian P. Moran, or Moran. I call him Moran. I'm sorry, guy. So that's not your name. I apologize if it's being recorded. Moran. Brian P. Moran. He's like, look at this guy. He talks about a few steps here in regards to the execution system, which I really love and I implemented with my team recently. I'd love to share that with you as well. First thing he says is vision. He talks about what is vision. It says vision, a compelling vision creates a clear picture for the future, right? Insight. Bless you. And then he talks about planning. He talks about planning. He says an effective plan clarifies and focuses on the top priorities and initiatives and the actions needed to achieve that vision. A good plan is constructed in a manner that facilitates implementation. Other than that, it's just a hope, a wish, and a dream if you don't have a good plan to implement it, to bring it to life. It's one thing just to have it in your head, in your mind, but how are you going to bring that to this realm? How are you going to co-create that with this human experience that you're having? And then process control. Process control consists of a set of tools and events ensuring that your time is spent on strategic growth and activity. I always say if you don't tell your time and money where to go, you wonder where it went. Measurement, of course. Measurement drives the process. If you think about it, measurement draws all process. Measurement is the anchor of reality. Is it not? If you think about it, measurement is the anchor of reality. Let that marinate. Effective measurement combines both proactive and insightful indicators that provide comprehensive feedback necessary to form a decision-making that actually affects your world in this realm. And of course, time management and the use of time. After a couple of near-death experiences, I'm still trying to get respect back for time. You die and you go another round, but time doesn't matter. I sometimes find myself just kind of floating through life, like, oh, look at the snow. And I'm like, oh, I gotta go. Oh, wow. But there's importance in that time management, and just to realize that that in that time management, that everything happens in a context of time. A time to be born, a time to transition. I don't believe in death, but to transition, right? And there's also a time where you meet certain people in your life where you may have seen them in a certain past or maybe another time, but somehow this reason, this time, there's some task that you guys just lined up for or lined up to, or something happened to you, like this divine alignment. Timing's so beautiful. And if you're not in control of your time, then basically you're not in control of your results. Use your time to set clear intentions. And in creating your reality, your vision into reality, having that intention is really important. To have the intent. What do you set as your intention for this year, for 2023? What intentions do you guys have? Blessed are the flexible, for they're never bent out of shape. In setting intentions, it's also important to know that it's important to surrender in order to transcend. When I was dealing with the near-death experience, when I had my kidney transplant and had internal bleeding, that was one of the second of the 4 near-death experiences that I had. I had no option but to surrender. It wasn't like, nah, I'm good, not today, I'm going to play tough. I was gone. Down goes Frazier. Out. But in surrendering, I found there's a beauty in that because you can easily transcend into where you need to be. And there's a piece of almost letting go and letting the flow go with that. In that aspect of letting go, there's a few things I asked you also try to let go of. Let's try to let go of that brain damage as we evolve. What is brain damage? That's my word I just made up. You guys can use that if you want. Brain damage. Brain damage could be from anything. It could be from romantic relationships or non-romantic relationships. Brain damage could be the old thought processes that we had, the old belief systems and habits. Brain damage is anything that we're utilizing that's no longer serving our highest good in our human experience. What brain damages do you need to let go of? In the aspect of, in the rotation of letting go of brain damage, I found an emotional cycle of change, which I thought was pretty elegant. Say that a few times. It's called ECOC, Emotional Cycle of Change. And it's 5 steps that basically happen with most people when they're going through some type of change. Let it be someone who's saying, I want to stop drinking, or hey, I actually want to lose weight, or hey, I want to achieve this goal of whatever it is that you have out there. The first cycle of that is going to be the uninformed optimism. That uninformed optimism focuses on all the benefits. It talks about all the things you're going to experience. It talks about all the brainstorming and all the ideas. This is the fun stage, the how-tos, and how we're going to create growth and revenues, and we're going to touch so many people, impact so many lives. This is the uninformed optimism. It's fun stage, right? I was writing this talk. I'm like, I'm going to say this next. And as I'm reading, I skipped over 3 parts. I'm like, shoot. That's that creative part, that fun of it, until you're in the mix and you realize, well, I guess it wasn't really leading that way. Next, you have the informed pessimism, which is basically where people shift from that to that negative emotional status. In that negative emotional status, the benefits seem less real, less important, less immediate. The cost seems to be more. The effort to change seems to be more. And for some reason, most people abandon the efforts in this phase right here. Then when you go from that abandonment of it, it transitions to the valley of despair. That's the third one, the valley of despair. When you're in your valley, and we all go through our valleys and peaks in life. I've been through a few. I know you guys have as well. One thing that really helped me when I was in the valley was to remember the things I did when I was at the peak. And then when I'm at the peak, I remember the things I didn't do when I was in the valley. And that's what's helped me to kind of transition as I go through life. But that valley of despair is where most people give up. This is where all the dreams go. They die. They just sit, just flounder. The valley of despair is where people give up. Why? Because the pain of change is felt a lot more than the benefit, and is less important. Discomfort leads to going right back into the old ways of being, unfortunately. It goes back to that part of, hey, it's not so bad. It's not, I can handle it. It's okay. The truth of the matter is, not so bad is still bad, isn't it? It's still bad. And you're just going to be right back trying to get to where you were. And then we have informed optimism. And this is where you're more likely to succeed because you're back into that positive energy. You're starting to see some results. The benefits of your actions are starting to bear fruit with the cost and the change, the challenge of the change or the challenge of the lessons through the actions become a lot more routine, becomes more easier. It's a lot funner. So mind you, I started this job at this bank, whole new system. I've been in finance since about 15 plus years, but I'm learning an entire new banking system by itself. So I have my tellers now, who I'm the manager, are teaching me how to do teller transactions because I'm like, I don't want to be that manager who's lazy. I'm never going to ask you guys to do anything I'm not wanting to do. Show me how to do teller transactions. So I go on the line, and I'm trying to make a simple deposit. And I have a lady that comes in, she says, hello, you have a nice suit. I said, thank you, ma'am. I'm the new branch manager. My name is Nell Duo. She says, yeah, I would like to make a withdrawal on my IRA. She said, IRA. I didn't know what the heck an IRA was. I was like, IRA? So I'm looking around like, IRA? What is an IRA? And I'm like, I don't want to look dumb, but I don't know what she's talking about. So I'm sitting there like, okay, do you have your ID? I'm going through the motions. She pulls out her ID, and I pull up on the system. Like, okay, maybe I can figure out what she's talking about here. I'm looking in. I'm like, okay, checking the money market. And where's this IRA? Where's this IRA? And I had to humble myself and ask my colleague next to me. And I was like, what's an IRA? Oh, she just means IRA. Mine is my 19-year-old teller. As she goes back texting. Oh, I knew that. Let's help your IRA, ma'am. So as a part of this, we have the optimism where you go through the phases of that uncomfortableness of having to learn something new, that uncomfortableness of having people watch as you're learning something new. Like me being on stage and talking to you guys right now is a bit nerve-wracking, but it's fun. It's fun because I'm not doing money. You can't call and complain. You're not doing a survey or nothing. Are we doing surveys? Oh, okay. Now I know. I'm just kidding. And then we have, of course, down the last phase of that, which is success and fulfillment, which we talk about. This is where is a course of when the benefits are now just where the behaviors have met, where the experience and the cost are virtually, the stress of the cost is virtually gone. The difficult and uncomfortable feelings of now being in that motion, that role, that task, is no longer that issue. You're just in your flow. You know, you got your harmony. You got your set structure. I know you had adopted kids first recently, right? So there's a part on that where you get a child and you're like, oh my God, this baby is a human life. And then later on, you're like, oh, he's okay. He's just burping, right? Because everything's immediate first when you first have a child, I would imagine, right? So those are things that we kind of think about with that as well, too. So now transitioning to close, I ask you guys for this year as we bring our vision to reality, As you're creating a compelling vision for yourself, that is critical to keep in mind what you're focusing on moving forward. To keep process control and commitment as your front pieces. Process control and commitment. What's your process control? What are you committed to? Are you committed to yourself first and foremost? I think that's the first commitment. And in co-creating reality, it's also important to know that to help you stay on track, you need a powerful why. Why are you doing what you're doing? What's your why? Your vision should be enough where it stretches you a little bit. It should stretch you. It should be a bit uncomfortable. If it's too easy, then you probably don't have a big enough vision. Talking tonight was a stretch for me because he gave me a topic to talk about, and I'm like Aquarius, I'm super rebellious. So I was like, I don't want to talk about what you're giving me. But then as I looked at the topic, like, that's really actually on point. Thank you for making that easy. So closing, let's talk about some people in history. I love stories. So let's talk about some people in history that have took a vision and made it into reality. Something that the world told them just couldn't be done. So many times it did. May 6th of 1954, Roger Bannister became the first recorded man to run a race in less than 4 minutes. The world said it's unhumanly impossible. There's no way the body could handle running a mile that fast. You'll die. You'll hurt yourself. It can't be done. It can't be done. Roger Bannister broke that and proved that wrong. Now you got high school kids running a mile in 3 minutes or so without even thinking about it, right? If you think about that same flex of thought process, May 26th of 1953, about a year before that, there was a conquest of Mount Everest was achieved. And I say that to tell you that we should think about the suspended belief for a second. Hold on to his word, suspended belief. Suspended disbelief. Suspended disbelief helped me to stay in line and stay on for the kidney transplant for 11 and a half years. The suspended belief told me that even though they're telling me that this kidney is not working, that you could die on dialysis, that et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all these things that I had coming against me, the suspended belief that I had was, nope, I'm only on dialysis for a little bit. I'm not a dialysis patient. I'm just going through the motions. And that's what helped me keep forging through that. So I ask you guys, whatever limitations that people are trying to put on you, suspend that disbelief. Suspend that disbelief, if not for you, for those it may echo for. And other things I also ask you guys to do, if possible, is to get rid of 3 things. At least try this year to look at 3 things to get rid of. First being, get rid of fear. Move in love. Get rid of the unworthiness that we feel. The world tells you we're not enough. In marketing, I did a course in marketing, a little bit of college that I took. If you think about the concept and psychology of marketing, it's all about telling you that you are not enough or you're lacking of. Am I wrong? You see a commercial that says, do you wake up hungry, tired? Hi, I do wake up hungry, tired. Take this medication. Something is, hey, new car, do this. It's always about something that's missing from outside of us versus realizing that we are whole, nothing broken, nothing missing. Get rid of those false lies that tells you you're not worthy. And if you don't feel worthy, take self-inventory. Think about where you came from. Think about all that had to happen in your generational history for you to be here at this moment. It's not by luck or chance. It's not by luck or chance at all, folks. And then false identity. Get rid of these false identities. For the longest time, especially as we had what had happened with here in Minnesota recently with George Floyd, I got sick almost, diving into the anxiety of it. Everything was intense. I was working in Blaine. I'm like, oh my God, I work at a bank and I wear suits. They might pull me over. What happened? And I started taking on the spirit of other people's experiences versus my own. And I started looking more for, oh my God, look at me because of this. Look at me because of that. Because I'm dark skinned, because I'm African, because I'm black, because I'm a man, because of this, and that. And all these identities just bogged me down. And I had to sit back and realize, is it my truth or is it what I'm allowing to be put on me? It's funny that we live in a generation that doesn't want to identify with anything, but identifies with everything. So in the aspect of identity, I ask that you just take self-inventory, know your worthiness, know that you're here for a reason, not a season. Remember that it's not what happens to you, but what happens in you. Know that as you bring your vision into reality, that there are stages that are meant to happen for your human experience and your evolution. Embrace it all. Embrace it all. A little shameless plug for myself. I do have a speaking company I recently started called We Evolve or Die. And when we evolve by dying to our old ways of thinking and being and moving and seeing ourselves in the world. And We Evolve or Die is going to be a transition this year of now helping those who are on dialysis to fully live the whole experience of being on life and not to die on dialysis or just, because you could be a living dead, still be physically alive but just going through the motion. So my goal this year as I started dialysis back again, unfortunately, is to start doing more activities and events and hangouts for those who are on the machine so they can have the full experience of life and not just have to go through the motion of just dialysis. And when I get my kidney, then I'll live. Because you got to live now. You got to live in the moment. Other shameless plug as well, too. I do some business consulting, help others with marketing, branding, and, of course, if you need business or banking needs, look me up. We'll connect the dots. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I want to say Happy New Year to you, beloved. You matter. You're here for a reason, not a season. Go in peace, go in love, not fear. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Nell, for an inspiring story. Yeah, fantastic. I love your vibration, your energy, and delivery. Right now, we're going to, John and Carol are going to pass around the baskets, invite you to just be generous and help us support this amazing community in which we can, give us a place to keep this energy going, get out of the head into the heart. So thank you for your generosity.
It's been the kind of year I'd be fine if I forgot, yeah. But I'll never forget it as long as I live, and that's saying a lot. The wildest menagerie of unfortunate, crazy things, and now it's all over. So raise up your glass, here's to brand new beginnings, and leave in the past all the things that are ending. 'Cause tomorrow will bring us a new morning sun. My friends, I believe that the best is yet to come. So I guess now there's proof.
Now, if you could just raise your arms and help me bless the offering. Repeat after me. Perfect love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. All right, thank you. And now we're going to, as our tradition, we're going to grab a little circle right around here, and Nell will lead us in a closing message.
Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. So, smarter than harder. All right. I want to thank each of us for showing up as we are in our authentic selves. Lord, and thanks, of course, and the Spirit for flowing and moving as it has, for bringing us through another year. We know that times are critical and sometimes tough to deal with, but the grace is sufficient enough. We give gratitude for our community. We give gratitude for family. We give gratitude for the opportunity to still grow, to still bring our vision into reality. We give gratitude for this space, and we give gratitude that it's been here as a staple for us. And as we continue to forge our day and our week and the rest of our year, that we may move within love and not fear. We ask that you guys continue to speak from the message center, which is the heart, in all that we do and receive. As we move forth now in love, we give gratitude and stay in gratitude. Ashe.